Hello, child of God. This is CPA Shadrach Adino, an expert on wealth creation and management. I'm also a practicing auditor and a financial management consultant. Above all, I'm a born-again child of God and a pastor. May I take this opportunity to welcome you to today's episode. On today's episode, we are going to deal with how to invest in shares in Kenya. So if you've been wondering how to invest on shares and you've not known how, then please pay keen attention from the beginning to the end of today's episode. Now, before we begin, I want to thank you sincerely from the depth of my heart for taking this time to listen to me. And for our subscribers, I say a big thank you. You're the one that is taking us to where we are going to, and where we've reached so far is because of your subscribers. And if you're watching us for the first time, you've not subscribed, please just take time. Just click on that subscribe button. Then just like this video, and please help us to share it with your contacts. Thank you very much. Now, straight away to how to invest in shares in Kenya. Step number 1, decide on the type of shares that you want to buy. Now, when I talk of types of shares, I refer to mainly 2 types of shares that attract investors. Number 1, dividend stocks, and number 2, growth stocks. Now, when we talk about dividend stocks, we are referring to shares of companies that are profitable, and after every financial years, they declare dividend and distribute dividends. So if you're a shareholder of such a company, you're assured that you're going to be a partaker of those profits in form of dividends. So such shares is what I call dividend stocks. When I talk of growth stocks, I refer to shares of companies that grow in value over time. You buy them at a lower price at the beginning, but at the end of a certain duration of time, the value of shares shall have appreciated. Those are called growth stocks. So make a decision on the types of shares that you want to invest in. Step number 2, choose the economic sector that is preferable to you. Now, when I talk about economic sector, the Nairobi Securities Exchange are categorized into 6 sectors. Now, I will just highlight the sectors from number 1 to 16. Now, sector number 1 is agricultural sector. Number 2, banking sector. Number 3, beverages sector. Number 4, building and associated sector. Number 5, energy sector. Number 6, engineering sector. Number 7, food sector. Number 8, industrial holding sector. Number 9, insurance sector. Number 10, investment sector. Number 11, printing and publishing sector. Number 12, property sector. Number 13, retail sector. Number 14, technology sector. Number 15, tourism sector. And number 16, transport sector. Now, the sector of your choice should be that which you consider to be a safe sector for your investment, stable, profitable, and has prospect for growth. Step number 3, choose the shares or choose the company whose shares you want to invest on. Now, in choosing the company that you want to buy their shares, determine the viability of the shares, both in the long term and also in the short term. Now, to determine viability of the shares, we do 2 analyses. The first analysis that we do in determining the viability of the shares is called fundamental analysis. The second analysis that should be done is technical analysis. Now, let me explain a little bit what fundamental analysis means. Now, when you're doing fundamental analysis, the factors that you analyze are as follows. Number 1, look at the company's management. Now, it is very easy to gauge the management of any company, and more so quoted companies, because in their annual reports, they give a list of their board of directors and management. Now, you look at the qualification of the board members. You look at their experience. And by gauging their qualification and experience, you'll be able to determine whether they are good managers for your shares. If you realize that they are qualified and they are good managers and they can enable your share investment to appreciate in value and the company to be profitable, then that is a good company that you should be able to invest in their shares. The second factor that you do when you're doing fundamental analysis is examine the financial statements. Now ask yourself, from these financial statements, is there prospect for profitability in this organization? In looking at the financial statements, you are able to determine whether this company is having a future. Is it a going concern, or in the near future the company is going to collapse? You can only deduce that when you analyze the company's financial statement. The third factor that you examine when you're doing fundamental analysis is position of the company in the industry. Now, when you look at the company whose shares you want to buy, you ask yourself, when I compare the earnings of this company with the earnings in the industry, where is the position of this company? When I look at the profitability of this company compared with the profitability in the industry, you ask yourself, where is the position of this company? If the position of that company in terms of earnings and profitability is top there, now you say, this is a good company for my investment. The third factor that you look at is the fourth factor that you're going to look at is the company's dividend policy. You ask yourself, what is the dividend policy of this company? It is very easy to know the dividend policy just by examining their annual returns or annual reports. Now, if the dividend policy is favorable to your investment, please go ahead and invest in those shares. Now, the second item that you look at when you are analyzing the viability of that company is technical analysis. Now, technical analysis is simply to look at the previous share prices. The previous share prices are then plotted on a graph. Now, when you plot the share prices of that company on a graph, maybe for a duration of 1 year, you take average share prices in a month, then you plot it the next month, and maybe for 12 months. You are able to analyze and see the trend of that graph. If that line graph is showing an upward projection, an upward movement, then that should also tell you that the future of this company is still going upwards. But if you see the line graph descending, going down, that should be interpreted to mean that the future of this company seems not to be very bright. So I'm saying step number 3, in choosing shares or choosing a company to invest in their shares, do a fundamental analysis and also do a technical analysis. Let's come to step number 4 on how to invest in shares in Kenya. Now, step number 4 is choose a stockbroker. Now, at the Nairobi Securities Exchange, you cannot go there directly and buy shares. No, you need to go through a stockbroker. Now, you need to do due diligence in trying to come up with a stockbroker. You do a background check of the stockbroker before you just pick on any stockbroker. Now, the factors to look at when you're trying to look at to choose a stockbroker are as follows. Number 1, look at their regulation status. All stockbrokers are regulated by the Capital Markets Authority in Kenya. Now, you can get information from the Capital Markets Authority, and maybe from that information, you may be able to gauge the kind of findings or the kind of report that the Capital Markets Authority has on that particular stockbroker. If the report is negative, please go slow on choosing that stockbroker, pick another one else. Now, look at the licensing status as point number 2. A factor number 2 to consider in picking your stockbroker. Look at the license status. Is the stockbroker licensed? And if he's licensed, is the license current? If the license is current, then I tell you that's a good candidate for being a stockbroker for your investment. Item number 3 to consider in choosing a stockbroker is what kind of services do they provide? Do they allow you to buy only, or do they buy and also sell? What kind of services does that stockbroker provide? If the services favor you, I tell you, my friend, that's a good candidate for a stockbroker to choose for your investment. Number 4, you also look at the fees they charge. Some charge favorable fee, some charge high fee. Now what you need to do is just take a sample of a few stockbrokers and compare the fees they charge. A good investor and a rational investor is going to go for a fairly low fees, provided that they provide good services. Personally, I would go for a stockbroker that charges fairly low fees. The 5th item that you need to look for is their expertise. On their websites, they will tell you what kind of services they provide and what kind of expertise they have. Go for a stockbroker that is an expert in that field. Now, the 6th item is look at their the trading platform that they offer. What kind of trade do they offer? If it is favorable to you, my friend, go for that stockbroker. Now, I want to give you very quickly some of the stockbrokers that we have at the Nairobi Securities Exchange, so that if you're looking for a stockbroker, maybe you can consider one of the following. We have number 1 as Dare and Blair. We have Suntra Investment Bank. We have Old Mutual. We have SBG Securities. We have Kingdom Securities. We have AIB Axis Africa Limited. We have ABC Capital. We have Sterling Capital. We also have Faida Investment Bank. We have NCBA. We have Genghis Capital. We have Standard Investment Bank. We have Kestrel Capital. We have Africa Alliance. And number 15, we have KCB Capital. So if you're wondering which stockbroker to go for, please, we have a list of 15 stockbrokers. Do your due diligence and choose from among the 15. Now, step number 5 on how to invest in shares in Kenya is open a trading account. You cannot do business at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. You cannot buy shares without opening a trading account. Now, this trading account is called Central Depository System Account. Now, it is this Central Depository System Account, in brief CDS account, that you use for buying and selling of shares. If you don't have a CDS account, you cannot do business at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Now, this account is opened at the Central Depository and Settlement Corporation, CDSC. The role of CDSC is to ensure that all settlements, the buying and selling, are paid out promptly, the way they're supposed to be paid out. Now, who will help you open this CDS account? It is your stockbroker that is going to help you in opening that CDS account. Yet, before it is opened, there are certain documentations that you must provide. Now, number 1, you're going to fill a CDS1 form and submit the following documents. Number 1, 2 colored passport size photographs. Number 2, you are required to produce a KRA PIN certificate. Number 3, you are also required to produce a national ID or a passport. Number 4, you're supposed to produce evidence of residence. That is a must. Number 5, you must produce evidence of income. And normally evidence of income is just the pay slip or a bank statement. And finally, step number 6, buy shares. Now, in buying shares, you need to deposit your money in a trading account. But before depositing your money in the trading account, it is important that your stockbroker of choice demonstrates to you on how trading goes on at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. The stockbroker should be able to guide you, because you need knowledge. You cannot go into something that you don't understand. That stockbroker should take you through the process on how business goes on at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. That is called an induction process. Now, that induction process should give you insight on how share prices move and change at the stock market. Now, the demo should be able to give you a knowledge on when you should buy shares. Now, the terminology that is used when you want to buy shares is called long position. Now, the demonstration should also guide you on when to sell shares. That one is normally called the short position. Now, once you've gathered experience on how trading goes on at the Nairobi Securities Exchange, my friend, that is the time that you should now deposit your money at your CDS account. Now, as a trader in shares, you would want to buy shares when prices are down, expecting that after a duration of time, the prices are going to appreciate. Now, as a trader again, longing for profits in his investment, you need to sell your shares when prices are up there. Now, once you've sold your shares when the prices are up there, you shall have made a profit. You bought the shares when the prices were low. Now you are selling your shares when the prices are up. Now you sell them at a profit, expecting that you're going to buy again shares when prices are down there. Now when you buy shares when prices are down and sell shares when the prices are up, automatically you shall have made a profit on your money. Now, dear listener, I've come to the end of my presentation. And if you are listening to me, you now understand how to invest in shares in Kenya. Now, you are free. I encourage you to go back, rewind this video, listen to it over and over again, and you'll not go wrong on how to invest shares in our country, Kenya. As I finish, I thank you for giving me time to speak to you. Please, before you close, kindly subscribe to this channel and like this video today. And please help me reaching out to your contacts by sharing this video to everybody in your contact. My friend, I tell you, God bless you and may you prosper in Jesus' name. Amen.